Hello friends, welcome back to Wawa AS. Welcome to the discussion on daily MCQ. Today is 16th of September 2021 and now we are going to discuss 5 current affair based MCQs. तो चलिए शुरू करते हैं. But first let us discuss the question that was asked yesterday, and yesterday's question was which one of the following can one come across if one travels through the Strait of Malacca? A. Bali, B. Brunei, C. Java and D. Singapore. You have to choose the correct option, and some of you have given the correct answer as well. Yesterday it was Aarti Thakur who gave the correct answer. The correct answer is D. Singapore. Singapore is the correct answer. So if you see this Strait of Malacca, the Strait of Malacca here, as you can see in this picture, so it is in the Indian Ocean, the Strait of Malacca, and it is between Indonesia and Malaysia. Remember this, the Strait of Malacca is between Indonesia and Malaysia, and while traveling through the Strait of Malacca, here you will find Singapore. Okay, so while traveling through the Strait of Malacca will come across Singapore. Okay, so here you can find Indonesia, and this is also Indonesia. Here you have the Strait of Sunda. Okay, and Java, Brunei. So Java will be somewhere to the south, and Brunei will be to the other side. Okay, so only Singapore you can find while traveling through the Strait of Malacca. Now let's move on. And guys, as you know, daily we upload 5 current affair based MCQs along with their solutions in a PDF format. You can download this PDF from our Telegram channel at free of cost. The Telegram channel details are there in the description. Okay, so just go through it once. Let us look at the first question. The first question is, he established the first provisional government of India at Kabul in Afghanistan and formed the Executive Board of India in Japan during the Second World War. He gave his own residence to establish the first technical school of the country. In recognition of his service, he is popularly known as Aryan Peshwa. Identify the personality. A. S.C. Bose, B. Sakaram Duskar, C. Raja Mahendra Pratap Singh, and D. Dadabhai Naoroji. You have to choose the correct answer, and the correct answer is C. Raja Mahendra Pratap Singh. The Prime Minister recently has laid the foundation stone of Raja Mahendra Pratap Singh at the university in Aligarh in Uttar Pradesh. So Rajmahendra Pratap Singh was a Indian freedom fighter, journalist, writer and a revolutionary. He was the president of the provincial government of India, which served as the Indian government in exile during the World War I from Kabul in 1915. He also formed the Executive Board of India in Japan in 1940 during the Second World War. He also took part in the Balkan Wars in the year 1911 along with his fellow students of the Mohammedan Anglo College. In recognition of his service, the Government of India issued the postage stamps in his honor, and he is popularly known as the Aryan Peshwa. He was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize in 1932. He was influenced by the speeches of Dadabhai Naoroji, Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Maharaja of Baroda and Bipin Chandra Pal, helping to make him a patriot who turned Swadeshi. On the 1st of December 1915, during the World War I, Pratap established the first provisional government of India at Kabul in Afghanistan as the government in exile of Free Hindustan, with himself as the president, Maulvi Barakatullah as the prime minister, and Maulana Ubaidullah Sindhi as the home minister, declaring jihad on the British. During his revolutionary ideas, Pratap has a good relationship with Lenin, who invited him to Russia after its liberation and welcomed him. Now let's look at the second question. The second question is, consider the following statements. First one, the sterile insect technique is a method of biological insect control whereby overwhelming number of sterile insects are released into the wild. Second one, the PG-CIT is one such CRISPR-based technology that alters the genes linked to the male fertility, creating sterile offsprings. Here we have to choose the correct option. A 1 only, B 2 only, C both 1 and 2, and D neither 1 nor 2. So the correct answer is C both 1 and 2. So researchers at the University of California, San Diego have created a new system named Precision Guided Sterile Insect Technique that restrains population of mosquitoes. This sterile insect technique is a method of biological insect control whereby overwhelming number of sterile insects are released into the wild. The released insects are preferably male, as this is one of the cost effective, and it's a method where one can control the offsprings, one can control the children that come out of these mosquitoes, and as the female mosquitoes which cause dengue and malaria, that can be reduced. Okay, the precision guided sterile insect technique, the PG-CIT, it alters the gene linked to the male fertility, creating sterile offspring. This is important, and the female flight in the Aedes aegypti. The mosquitoes which are responsible for spreading diseases like dengue, chikungunya, Zika, they can be controlled, and the PG-CIT uses CRISPR to sterile male mosquitoes and render female mosquitoes flightless. Okay, so this is about this technique. Now let's move on. Let's see the third question. Consider the following statements with respect to the Attorney General of India. First one, Attorney General of India is part of the Union Executive. Second one, the Constitution stated Attorney General of India is removable from his office only on the grounds of proved misbehavior or incapacity. So please choose the correct answer. A1 only, B2 only, C both 1 and 2, and D neither 1 nor 2. The first statement, if you see, this is the right statement because Attorney General is part of the Union Executive. But the second statement, if you see, it is stated that in the Constitution, Attorney General is removable from his office only on the grounds of misbehavior or incapacity. This is wrong because the Constitution did not lay any condition for the removal of Attorney General. The Constitution simply said that Attorney General will be in his post if the President, if he enjoys the trust of the President. That's it. That is the only thing that is given. So the second statement is wrong and the first statement is right. So A1 only is the correct answer. So the Attorney General recently, K.K. Venugopal, has granted his consent to a lawyer for initiating contempt proceedings against the author of a YouTube for allegedly making derogatory remarks against the judiciary in general and the Supreme Court in particular. So if you see this contempt of court, to initiate any contempt proceedings, the permission of the Attorney General of India is important. Not important, is necessary. This is to reduce the fake cases and all. Okay, so Attorney General has to give his consent to initiate any contempt proceedings. But if the contempt proceedings are taken by the Supreme Court directly, so as a suo motu, then there is no need for the permission of the Attorney General. The Attorney General of India is part of the Union Executive and is the highest law officer in the country. And Article 76 provides for the Article 76 of the Constitution provides for the office of the Attorney General. So the Attorney General is appointed by the President on the advice of the government, and he must be a person who is qualified to be the judge of the Supreme Court, and he must be a citizen of India and must have been judge of some High Court for 5 years or an advocate of High Court for 10 years or an eminent jurist in the opinion of the President. And the term is not fixed by the Constitution, and he generally holds office during the pleasure of the President. So that means the President can remove the Attorney General at any time. And the duties and functions, if you see, he is the main law officer of the country and he defends the government in all the courts of the country, and he has the power to, or you can say he can take part in the proceedings of the Parliament. The only thing is that he doesn't have the power to vote. Okay, and also he can become part of the committees of the Parliament. Right, so this is all the information about Attorney General. Now let's look at the next question, the fourth question. India launched the Climate Action and Finance Mobilization Dialogue in collaboration with A, EU, B, USA, C, Australia, and D, Japan. You have to choose the correct option. The correct option is B, USA. So USA is the correct option. So India and US have together launched the Climate Action and Finance Mobilization Dialogue. So this is one of the two tracks of India-US Climate and Clean Energy Agenda 2030 partnership, launched at the Leaders Summit on this climate. Okay. So this summit, if it's this dialogue, it will strengthen the India-US bilateral cooperation on climate and environment, and it will also help to demonstrate how the world can align swift climate action with inclusive and resilient economic development, taking into account the national circumstances and sustainable development priorities. US will collaborate with India to work towards installing the 450 gigawatt of renewable energy by 2030, which is target of India. And currently, if you see, India has installed power capacity of about 476 gigawatt by the end of this year, and is expected to rise to approximately 817 by 2030. And the Climate Action and Finance Mobilization Dialogue will have three pillars. The first one is Climate Action pillar, which actually takes about the joint proposals to reduce the impact on the climate. Second one, setting up a roadmap to achieve 450 gigawatt in transportation, building, and industry. Third one, the finance pillar, which would involve collaboration on attracting finance to deploy the 450 gigawatt of renewable energy. Now let's look at the fifth question. With respect to the history of philosophical thought of India, consider the following statements regarding Sankhya school. Okay, so this is a previous year CSE question of 2013. First one, Sankhya does not accept the theory of rebirth or transmigration of soul. Second one, Sankhya holds that it is the self-knowledge that leads to liberation and not any external influence or agent. Which of the following are correct statements? A, 1 only, B, 2 only, C, both 1 and 2, and D, neither 1 nor 2. So if you see this Sankhya philosophy, so even for the prelims this year also it is very much important. So just thoroughly go through it. So here if you see, Sankhya does not accept the theory of rebirth and transmigration of soul. This is a wrong statement. But the second statement, if you see, Sankhya holds that it is a self-knowledge that leads to liberation and not any external influence. This is right. So when it is talking about liberation, that means it talks about the rebirth and transmigration of soul and all. So the second statement is right and first statement is wrong. So B2 only is the correct answer. So Sankhya basically it means enumeration. The founder of Sankhya school is Kapila Maharshi, and it is a proponent of dualism. It says that there are two ultimate realities, the Prakriti and Purusha. By Purusha they mean consciousness, and by Prakriti they mean substance or realm of the matter. The jiva or life is that state in which the Purusha is bonded to Prakriti through the glue of desire, and the end of this bondage is moksha. And this school does not believe in the existence of God. At the same point, it does not describe what happens after moksha and does not mention anything about Ishvara or God. Because after liberation, there is no essential distinction of individual and universal Purusha. So, what happens after moksha is irrelevant for this school. But at the same time, though godless, the Sankhya believes in the doctrine of karma. So, karma siddhanta is being followed by Sankhya, and it also talks about the transmigration of souls. The philosophy adversely affected by the Tantra sadhana a lot. And the Sankhya school of philosophy says that the dualism consists of fundamental difference between consciousness and matter. It is different from the dualism of the West because the dualism differentiates mind and body. But according to this philosophy, the knowledge that leads to liberation is the Viveka Jnana, that is knowledge through discrimination. When a jiva, that is individual self, identifies with the Purusha and not with the Prakriti, which is the insentient principle, matter in its manifold expressions and the name and forms, the individual becomes free. Sankhya accepts the theory of rebirth or transmigration of soul. Right? So, this is all the information about Sankhya. Now, let's look at the question of the day. The question of the day is, what is the provision to safeguard the autonomy of the Supreme Court of India? It's a previous year CSC question. First one, while appointing the Supreme Court judges, the President of India has to consult the Chief Justice of India. Second one, the Supreme Court judges can be removed by Chief Justice of India only. Third one, the salaries of the judges are charged on the Consolidated Fund of India, to which the legislature do not have to vote. The fourth one, all appointments of the government officers and staff of the Supreme Court of India are made by the government only after the consultation with the Chief Justice of India. A 1 and 3, B 3 and 4, C 4 and D 1, 2, 3 and 4. Do give your answer in the comment box, and tomorrow we will discuss this question. Right? And guys, as you know, prelims is just 24 days away, and to make work easy for you, to ensure that you revise the same content multiple times, we have brought the summaries of Vision Prelims Test Series, Vision PT365, Vision Mains Test Series, and Vision Monthly Magazine as well. Do make the best use of this initiative, and make sure that you cover all of the important things. Okay? So that's it, friends, from my side. I'll see you again tomorrow with 5 more MCQs. Till then, keep studying and stay tuned. Jai Hind.